Has anyone played bingo in the last year? Last 3 years? Does anyone play bingo regularly? Clearly, bingo has been recently declining in popularity due to development in other forms of entertainment and technology. I believe that more people should play bingo and that it should be introduced early on. I have been playing bingo myself for about 10 years regularly. Every summer we would come back to visit Virginia from wherever we were living as a military family, and bingo was an activity I looked forward to on Wednesday nights with my friends. We would play at the Sandbridge Firehouse, where it's offered on Wednesday nights, but I'll get more into that later. Bingo itself dates all the way back to 16th century Italy, before it went to France in the 18th century and finally came over to the US in the 20th. Since 1934, bingo's been used to raise money for nonprofits. In those situations, gambling is banned, but bingo is permitted because it's technically classified as a game, even though you can earn money from it. It's most popular in nursing and retirement homes, but that popularity is predicted to decrease with our generation's entrance into the homes, because we focus more on other forms of entertainment such as phones, TVs, or video games. So why do we even need to keep bingo alive? Well, aside from the long history and the usage it has in raising money, bingo has benefits for all age groups and the community. In young kids, it helps teach them in their brains to process information quickly. It also helps them practice their memory skills, like what kind of game they're playing, if it's 4 corners or X, or they have to fill in just the good old-fashioned lines. For example, my 2 younger cousins, Hope and Henry, who are 8 years old, came to visit us this past summer. In the beginning, they needed constant help and attention with their boards. It was like we were playing 2 boards at the same time trying to help them. But by the end of the game, they had learned to listen and hear the numbers being called out and fill them in quickly. It helped them focus, and they played the game on their own. And by the end of it, Henry even won $25, which was a lot for him. In my email correspondence with Professor Van Wyck from the University of Waterloo, who specializes in the relationship between play and children's development, she said, play supports children's cognitive, language, literacy, social, emotional, physical, and creative development. Bingo helps with all those but physical. It's a very sedentary game. You're sitting the whole time unless you get excited and stand up and shout bingo, but otherwise you're sitting the whole time. In students or middle-aged people, it helps with their socialization as well as learning. If you're teaching students new information, you can use bingo. If a Latin teacher is teaching Roman numerals, they can call out the number, have the Roman numerals on a bingo sheet, and have them fill it in. In any age group, you can introduce new vocabulary or practice by calling out the definition of the vocab word and having kids fill it in on their bingo sheet. Turning learning into games like this helps with retention and participation because kids want to participate more if it's a game. It also helps any age group with socialization with other groups. There's not many situations in which a 16-year-old is hanging out with a 40-year-old socially. That might make it difficult for them to talk to older people, but if they're playing bingo, they're talking and they're learning to talk to someone who's older than them, which is a lifelong skill. In elderly people, it uses concentration, quick information processing, motor control and coordination, and sound and sight. Active games like golf might be difficult because of mobility struggles, and purely visual games like word searches might be difficult if they have sight struggles, but bingo can be played and enjoyed with both as long as there's assistance, but assistance is just another opportunity to meet someone new. According to Arbor-Assisted Living, bingo helped adults keep social relationships, which could delay dementia development by up to 38%. That's a big difference. Most importantly, bingo offers community. I interviewed Mr. Mike Maloney, who's the number caller for Sandbridge Station 17 Bingo, and he said that he loves being recognized when he's out and about. If he's at the grocery store, at the beach, he loves being recognized when he's in his community. He also shared the story with me of a man who comes back to the Wednesday night bingo regularly after the rescue squad that's based out of the fire station saved his life from a heart attack a few years ago. He said, the community connection with the rescue squad is special. Bingo adds to it as well as funding their efforts. Another example of the community that bingo offers is when I was volunteering at the Jones and Cabocoy Veterans Home this past winter. I had the privilege to play bingo with a man named Mr. Frank. We would help each other during the game. He would help me when I would get distracted talking to people, and I would help him whenever he couldn't hear the number that was being called out. After the game was over, my older brother and I walked him back to his room where he told us about his family, his life in the Navy, and serving with his 2 other brothers. It was very meaningful to be able to be a listening ear for his stories and his wisdom that he shared with us. But most importantly, looking around, I noticed that everyone was having similar experiences. All of the volunteers were walking the veterans back to their rooms, and all of the veterans were being a listening ear for their stories. These few stories are just a couple of examples of the human connection we have from bingo. This sense of community cannot be lost as entertainment and technology develop further. Bingo is for all age groups, all generations, and it is up to us to keep the timeless game alive. Thank you.